Ooh, yeah. Trust the profits. It's the formula here. Doing my Macho Man Randy Savage impression. Feel free to give me some applause in the comment section. I know. It was wonderful. And I'm doing it because we have the 2024 Mucho Macho Man Stakes coming up at Gulfstream Park. It is a stakes race. It is going to be held on the first of the year as part of the New Year's card at Gulfstream Park. 8 furlongs, 1 mile on dirt. These are the 3-year-olds. We are busting out some early horses that are looking to position themselves for a graded stakes race, a graded stakes prep race for the Kentucky Derby. Going to see a couple horses come out of this race, most likely, gearing themselves for those next set of prep races to gain some points to make their way into the Kentucky Derby. Do we have Kentucky Derby contenders here? I don't know, but we have contenders to be contenders for the Kentucky Derby. That's for sure. We have what I think is a pretty even field here among 8 horses. I went through this trying to pick my top four, even picking my top horse. I had a couple horses I was going back and forth between. But yeah, and picking through this field, I kept finding a fifth horse that I thought should be contending here. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's just start talking through those horses. No More Time. 2 races for No More Time, a win and a win and a second place. Iowa horse, last time out, won a 50K maiden special weight race, so broke his maiden, going the distance of this race, 8 furlongs. So it's just a nice thing to see. And won it by several lengths, almost 7 lengths over breakout, stalking the pace early on, taking the lead at the 3/4 mile mark, never looking back, stretching the distance. That's what you like to see in a horse, especially prepping up for one of these races. First time out, second place finish in a 5.5 furlong maiden special weight, going 4 wide, losing by 2 3/4 lengths in that one. A good start, right? So when you see a firster come out, you want to see them give you something. If they can finish in the top three, more power to you. Obviously struggled there having to go so wide, especially in a short race. But yeah, No More Time, I think, is a very interesting choice going into this race. I don't think he's going to be super high on the morning line or even the post time, but definitely a consideration. Boy Magic from Good Magic, 2 wins. Both wins come at Pimlico in Delaware, so not exactly Gulfstream Park. Last time out at 56K, 6 furlong allowance optional claiming race at Pimlico, stalking and then winning by 1.5 lengths there. And obviously he won his first race out, a maiden special weight race, 38K, so lower class at Delaware. And it was a small race, a 5 horse race there. So Boy Magic coming from Good Magic. Good Magic had a great showing last year or in 2023. This is going to be a bit of a step up for Boy Magic, though. Going to have to step up in class. Going to have to be running at a different track than he's used to, in a different area. So while I like this horse, I think there's a couple things going against him. Otello, probably the horse I would pick as the morning line favorite. I don't have the morning line odds right now; they haven't been released yet, at least as at the time that I'm making this recording. Atella is a horse that we talked about on Derby Talk. Yeah, this is a horse I was talking about in a maiden special weight race. I had him in my top three, maybe even top two, maybe even top one. I can't remember where exactly I had him, but he ended up winning that race, so I'll give myself a little pat on the back for that. An 85K maiden special weight race, going the distance, 1 mile, winning by a neck there, staying within 2 lengths of the pace most of the race, closing out, and then winning just barely over JD Factor in that one. Christophe Clement, Luis Saez, lovely combo. First World War. So talked about morning line, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be Otello, but the other horse that I think it probably could be is First World War, horse that comes to you from Brennan Walsh and Tyler Gaffleone. This is a horse that started his career first 2 races on turf. Broke his maiden at Kentucky Downs for whatever that's worth on his first race, and also finished fourth at the Key Bourbon Stakes, Castle and Key Bourbon Stakes, a G2 on turf at Keeneland. Was close to the pace in that one, held on, but was beaten by the wave there, finished in fourth place in that race. As you know, that turf wave can come in and sweep right past you, but he stayed within 1.5 lengths. So pretty good job maintaining position. But again, the horses that closed down the stretch there in a pretty big race definitely overtook him. But last time out on dirt, second place. Not too bad. Going 8.5 furlongs there. So more than the distance of this race at Churchill. 10 deep in that race. So it was a pretty deep field. Stayed close to the pace. Got overtaken by Parchment Party down the stretch, but still a pretty impressive first dirt race out for First World War. Question is, can he turn around a win here? Um, yeah, we will see. Orb Alpha, 4 races. He's got 1 win, has broken his maiden. However, the last 2 races he's had at Gulfstream at this park, um, lower, lower purse, lower, yeah, sixth place finishes in both. In one race, he did get bumped early on. That seemed to affect him. In the other race, I could find no evidence of him being disrupted early by another horse, having a bad gate start. And even if he was bumped early on, a lot of horses can recover from that. I am not high on Orb Alpha here. This is a no play for me, an insta toss. Um, yeah, I'm waiting to see him actually run a decent race first before I can get back on the wagon. If it happened one time, I could overlook it, but 2 in a row seems like a trend. Not high on Orb Alpha. Sorry, Orb fans. Inveigled, winner last time out at this Gulfstream Park in his 71K allowance optional claimer. Going 1 mile the distance of this race, beating C Streak, a horse that's also in this race, by 4.5 lengths. Before that, ran in a stakes race at Laurel Park, a 6 furlong stakes race, the James F. Lewis III stakes, losing by a neck in that one after setting the pace. Pretty impressive. Broke his maiden at Laurel Park, going gate to wire, 5.5 furlongs in that one, and winning by 8 lengths. The interesting thing about Inveigled here, Irad Ortiz is on the mount at Gulfstream. I don't think he's going to be the morning line favorite. I think because Irad's on the mount, that's going to bump this horse up a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if at post time he gets bumped up to maybe first or second in terms of favoritism here, just purely based on IRAD and purely based on how even this field is. And the horse won at GP, so I think there's a lot to be said for Inveigled. Ever do it? I almost called him Everdoit. How about that? That's what happens when they run all these words together. 1 win, second place finish in 3 races. First time at Gulfstream. Spent the last couple races at Tampa Bay Downs. Second place finish in an allowance optional claiming race. Battling with Gott's Got It for the lead most of the race and eventually yielding to him and losing by a little bit more than a length. Previous to that, did break his maiden in a 53K, 8 furlong maiden special weight race, battling Graniaco for the pace. Again, this is a horse that's going to be battling for the pace. But this time he did yield, or he did make Graniaco yield, I should say, and won by 2.25 lengths in that one. Possible pace setter, if not, definitely a pace pusher. C Streak. 1 win, 2 places, 2 second places in 3 races for C Streak. Last time out, second place to Inveigled, as I just mentioned. Broke his maiden before that at Belmont at the Big A. I should have put Aqueduct in there. Apologies. In a 90K, 6 furlong maiden special weight race, staying 6 lengths off the pace, staying pretty far back, pretty big field, closing hard and winning by 4.75 lengths in that one. So you got yourself a nice deep closer here, or at least a horse that's shown some deep closing ability. And finally, the summary. Who's the safe pick here? I went back and forth on this one. I do like Atella. Picked him before, but he's only got 1 race to his name. First World War, already raced at 8.5 furlongs, dropping down to 8 furlongs here. Kind of like to see that. He's got some turf experience, which not necessary here, but he's definitely got more experience. Running a graded G2 graded stakes race at Keeneland, even though it was on turf. I think that's the horse. I think that's the safe play here. Atella, I didn't put him as my value play. I'm still saying Inveigled is a value play. Tough to judge value at this point, especially since IRAD is on Inveigled. Could get bet down because of that. I went back and forth between those two. I'm also going to throw in No More Time. I mean, that could be a value play there too, I suppose, but No More Time, I think that could be a nice little outside play here. I went back and forth between him and Boy Magic, but really, I do like No More Time a little bit better here. I like his last few races. I like where he's raced them at. I think, yeah, I think that's your key box right there. Key on First World War, add in Atella, Inveigled, and No More Time. That's what I got for the Mucho Macho Man. What do you guys have? Love to hear from you in the comments section, and have a lovely new year.